Hey guys, welcome to kind of an indie game, I guess you'd call it, on Steam called Prison Architect. It's been getting a lot of buzz in the last, I don't know, month or so. I've messed around with it a little bit. I started my own prison. I'm going to go ahead and start a new prison here today for YouTube now that I've figured out a couple of things in it and I'm not a complete noob anymore. We're just going to go ahead and start with a large new prison area here. I like to do large just because then I'll have extra space. Pause the game. Very first thing I'm going to do here. Now, should probably plan this out just a little bit. I know first things first, let's go. This is the main menu of the game. There's our staff that's arriving in this truck over here. I should probably close the prison to any prisoners right now. And let's go for basic detention center because that gets us some money. And we can fulfill these little thingies here. Let's read the CEO letter just so we delete that because it bugs me being there. We can close this now. Now, as far as setting things up here, I'm going to take a minute and kind of plan out how this is going to work. These are various foundations and materials and stuff, and you'll see how that works. But I'm just going to be laying this out in planning mode first, which is just basically like lets you draw little things. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't cost anything. It gives you an idea of what you're doing. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I kind of figured out the offset I want to do here. This is going to be a storage area. This is going to be probably the main corridor in the prison. I didn't want to place that. This is going to be where I'm going to probably set up my holding cell and my shower area. We have these goals here, which are to set up a holding cell, shower, yard, kitchen, canteen, 2 guards, and 2 chefs. Now, the first thing you want to do before you build anything is build foundations, because you need foundations for buildings. So what I'm going to do is just lay out a pretty basic little foundation here if I can. If I do it like this, I think it'll work, right? Yeah, I think that'll work. So, let's have them get started on that. We're going to put, before a foundation can be completed, you actually need a door. And since this is going to be the main entrance to the prison, let's go ahead and place one of these large doors. We're going to be building internal walls and stuff like that once this actually gets completed. I'm going to unpause right now so we can get our staff here, which is going to take a minute because that truck really does not move that fast. But basically the goal of this game, of course, I guess I can talk about that while we're going. For those of you who don't know, we're building a prison. Now this is kind of like, I believe it's developed by a British company, but this is really an American style prison because, well, for one thing, you can execute people. There's an electric chair, which they don't have as far as I know in Great Britain, but basically, the prisoners all have their own needs. There's different tech trees, which we'll be able to get into, but we don't have a warden yet, which we need in order to do that. This delivery area is where supplies and prisoners get dropped off. I don't think they can get hit by a car, so it doesn't matter. But these are our supplies coming in for what we're building. Garbage goes out here. So, basically, they should... Yeah, there they go. They should start offloading the truck. Get all this stuff going. Honestly, this game kind of reminds me a little bit of like any of those tycoon games. I guess there was a prison tycoon, but specifically thinking about Roller Coaster Tycoon. Not so much in like the style or anything, just in how the prisoners have different needs that they need. You need to build different facilities in order to meet those needs. This game is in alpha. I think it's alpha release 10 right now, which means that there's a lot of features that aren't working. There's a lot of features to be added, a lot of bugs to be worked out, and so forth. It's kind of expensive. It's like 30 bucks, which, as it stands right now, I don't think this game is worth 30 bucks. But it's hard to say with something like that because, like I said, it's in alpha, so who knows what kind of features are going to be in it by the time they're done and stuff. So 30 bucks, I mean, it really seems more like a $15 game, maybe a $10 game. To me, with I mean, especially with the amount of stuff that's in it right now. But even I can't imagine it really being worth 30 bucks ever. But you know, it helps the developer out. I guess they raised a bunch of money on their website too. So whatever. Doesn't bother me too much. Does seem a little pricey. So with the prison closed to inmates, we're not actually making any money right now, and we are paying all these workers, and we're spending a lot of money too. So we do need to be careful about that. Here's a list of everything that they're trying to get done. We don't have any needs or regimes or anything like that that we can look into yet. So yeah, they're just gonna be building. We can probably do a little time acceleration, get this done a little bit more quickly here, because it does take a little bit. Now, I'm probably gonna actually start out building a low security section of the prison, and I'm gonna kind of build separate buildings. I think I've seen a couple of people do YouTube videos of this. Really, just Jeff Major, I think, is really the only one I've watched, and he just kind of built one prison. But I'm going to do this a little bit differently. We're going to set this up more like a real prison might be set up, with different cell blocks that are actually separate buildings. And I think I'm just going to start, even though you don't make as much money off of the low security prisoners, they are probably going to be easier to handle. So I think that's how we're going to start out. Now they're basically done with this. It should plop itself. Yep, there it goes. Only this plopped into. Oh, there it goes. It's realizing. So it automatically places lights, which I always just cancel because I want to place the lights myself. It bothers me. You do get charged for the lights, but they just get added to your storage area when that happens. So we're going to start off by actually getting a storage area done here, which means let's delete that. This is a staff door, which means that prisoners will not be able to hopefully go through it. I don't know if they do or don't. I think they don't. I haven't seen them do it, but it's hard to say. We need to set up a nice little like utility building here too. I'm gonna have that like a separate mechanical center. What is that in progress there? Is that just showing the opening of the door? I guess that's just showing the opening of the door. That seems kind of weird. So let's get our mechanical area figured out. We need utilities, which we have a power station already that they gave us when we started with a capacitor, which helps that work better. They also, looks like they already gave us a water pump, which is nice of them. So let's get back out here. I like to leave a little bit of space between my buildings. Let's see how all this stuff is going to fit. There's going to be an office in this building as well. I'm going to have the janitor stuff all be here because that makes sense to me. I'm not actually going to place the stuff, but I'm just going to look at it. So I put a wall like there. That'll leave 3. Just try to measure this out for myself here. So I should probably put a wall like there. And then we can set up the water pump. That doesn't need as much room because it's just a pump. That's probably a little bigger of an area than I really need then, isn't it? Well, let's do 3, 4. We'll call that a good place for this wall. Delete this stuff. Actually, let me change my mind here real quick. 1, 2, 3. Do it like that. And the autosave basically stops everything from happening for a minute when it does its thing. Delete all this crap. And we need 5 for the capacitors to have room around it, because we will be installing capacitors to make the pump, to make the power thing work a little better. I'm going to space this out so I can actually... Well, that just made it more confusing, didn't it? I think we'll call that good for that stuff. The offices need to be 4 by 4, which means we probably just cut that off, delete that, and this could be like a little... That doesn't quite work. I'm going to keep fiddling around with this. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, now I'm going to actually call that good enough. Basically, this is going to be for the janitors. This is going to be an office here. So that ought to work just fine. Get them working on that. And like I said, this is going to be kind of spread out a little bit. I might have even wanted to leave a little more space between these two buildings, but Not really going to worry about doing any decorations yet because we kind of got a ways to go on that. While they're doing that, let's get... I want a door that goes out to the delivery area for staff. And we're going to set this up as a storage room so they can keep all their junk in here. And we might as well set up lights. And I don't really have a good pattern for lights. I just kind of put them where I feel like they might want to go. Not that important that this be that well lit anyway. It's just a storage room. I don't want that light there. I did not mean to click that. So yeah, they just kind of go about their little business. You guys, that's more important than... I'd rather you guys get the foundation done than do all this stupid crap. They don't do a very good job of prioritizing what they're doing. Now, there's no prisoners in the prison yet, which means all the doors are just left open, which makes construction a lot easier. It's much preferable to have that be that way. But once the prisoners get here, we'll actually have to start having doors locked and guards have to come and open the doors and all that. But it's a lot easier like this. These little flashy things mean that there's no power over here. It's just letting me know, which of course I do realize. But yeah, I've played through a couple of like test prisons at this point. And I feel like I've gotten okay at this game. You guys need to go do stuff. Why do you guys not have any work to... There you go. Why the hell do you guys not have any work to do? That seems very hard to believe that there's no work for you. So we're going to set up a fence around the most of the outside of this prison as well. Fencing is actually free, which is one of the very few things that is free. So I'm probably just going to place it... Let's have a fence like... I'm not that worried about where this fence goes because this is really just like the last line of defense. I'll probably be setting up walls around some of the higher security areas and stuff. Basically, this is in case anybody gets out of the prison. It makes it a little bit harder for them to get out. Eventually, we'll, you know, have this all figured out. We need a staff door. Object. Staff door. So I had this planned out so that I guess this will be the entrance into the area here. Yeah, they just kind of build the fence out of like stuff they have in their pockets or something too. It's not even, they don't even have to get anything. It's kind of weird. And we're just leaving all these floors as basic concrete for now because we'll do better flooring where it's needed later. Of course, the prison, like, you know, most of the areas are probably just going to be regular concrete floors anyway. Because I do not want I don't really care what the prisoners have for flooring. Who has got this door? The door is probably on a truck right now, right? No, I don't see it. Oh, you just made it come out of nowhere. Well, that's fine. So yeah, this is what I was saying earlier about areas don't get finished until... Oh, he's gonna have to walk all the way around right now. I'm gonna have to do something about that. I should probably just put another door. We'll go like right across here. That way he'll have a little bit easier of a time. Actually, maybe I just want this fence to be right there. In fact, I think I do. We'll leave a space of 2. Then we can just have them delete all that part of it. They don't really have much to do right now anyway. I have to get my walls set up in here. Now it's going to turn into a real room here. Pause as soon as it does that so we can delete the lights. And let's get our walls nice and going here. And most of these 2 rooms here aren't going to have any use right now, so I'm not really going to worry about them too much. I am going to install doors just so that they're there. And these are just regular doors because prisoners should never be in this area. And we got to get our utilities going. So let's plop that down. And we will plop, well, whatever, we'll plop that down too. That one doesn't really need the space around it, but I'll do it anyway. Now, let's actually, I gotta change something here too. Let's get rid of that, and I actually want the wall to go like that. Let's get rid of the planning thingy. Get our objects going, get a couple more doors. Yeah, so I'm not too worried about this area because, like I said, prisoners should never be out there if everything's going well. So that staff door should be good enough to keep anybody out who's not supposed to be in there. And this is trash here, like it's just rubble. They go leave it, and then every once in a while a truck comes by and they have to go load it up. They give you 8 workers to start off with, which each one costs, each worker, like guards, some workers cost more, but the guards and the chefs and stuff like that, they all cost, I think, $200 a day. So it is kind of expensive to have this many workers, but at this phase in the prison we definitely need them for building. And more than that, they kind of make things go a lot better throughout because they repair things when prisoners damage them. And we just kind of probably want to keep at least that number of prisoners. I mean, not prisoners, workers. So I'm going to put a light in each of these rooms, and then we'll put lights like up in the corners here too. One in the hallway, and maybe one like right there. So these are kind of the more important buildings. This generator does have a capacity to it. You can actually overload it and then it shuts down and all the power in your whole prison goes out, which is not the best thing. I don't know who's installing the generator. One of these guys is getting it. Yeah, he's got the power station. I have not actually been able to get 2 power stations running in the same prison. They kind of screw each other up when you have 2 of them. So it's just going to be a matter of using a lot of capacitors, I guess, to keep it up and running. Each one of them reduces the load on the generator by quite a bit. And we're going to have to run some utility lines once this is done. I can actually see what we got to do. Things that are close enough to a power source or a power line, they have like smaller lines that run off, but there are like main power conduits that we have to run through things. So we'll see that in a minute here. So I'm going to build just a basic holding cell. We're going to do low security prisoners at first here. Now that's not true of this here because this actually needs a large power source because it's a large thing. So we got cable here, run it right over to this. That ought to work. And then I'm going to run this out yonder. And we'll just run it down like the core of the prison that way. We don't need to worry about the water pipes quite yet. Now, these I've noticed have been kind of buggy getting the electrical cables installed. There are times that they just won't do all the sections the way that you want them to. I don't really know why. And then they leave their crap everywhere too. They'll end up picking it up eventually, but it's kind of annoying. They'll figure it out though. So while that's going on, let's get some other walls planned out over here too. We want to a wall there and a wall. I don't know about this wall. Let's wait on that wall. But I do know I need some lights down this hall. It's going to do them like every, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do them like every 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll put one there and one there. Now there aren't that many of these grants unfortunately available yet, which means you don't have a lot of directions, but it's basically just stuff you'd be doing anyway. So, I mean, ultimately, I guess our goal is to, I don't know, how to execute guys and stuff like that would be the ultimate goal, but for now, we're just going to try to make a profitable prison. I guess that's really the goal. So you can see here the lights are mostly functioning. That one hasn't even been installed yet. If we look here, we can see these little lines running off. It shows you, I don't know the exact range, but everything that we need to be powered right now is powered. I am going to run some more cable down this way while they're... Don't really have much else to do though. Alright, so we got storage, we got our main entry. So let's plan out our intake area. So what do we need for a holding cell? We need 5x5 indoors, toilet, and a bench. Well, that should all be pretty doable here. So let's lay out... We're just going to call this whole area here a holding cell. Now, it has this thing because not all the requirements have been met for a holding cell. I want to go ahead and delete this planning stuff because that's bugging me. Alright, that looks good. So, since this is going to be a room holding prisoners, we need to put a jail door on it. We also want to actually have a wall in place so they can't just run away. And we need our benches. Let's put in like let's put in like 3 of them. Now let's do like 6. This is a big holding area. We'll do a big holding area. And actually I don't like them being that way. So I've already purchased these, which means that I've paid for them and they're going to be delivered no matter what. So I don't have to buy them again. Well, I guess I do because it's paused. We'll do 5 benches like that. And then put a couple toilets in. And we'll separate the toilets because we'll be civilized about it. Let them have a wall in between so they have little stalls in there. And it's good to give your prisoners stuff to do. Some of the more important things would be phones, which are going to be right next to the toilet, which is a little bit awkward. And we'll put a couple TVs in, I guess, too. That'll keep them busy. And let me think, what else would be a good thing to add to here? I guess we could add a small shower area right in there. It's probably not the best idea. Yeah, let's do it as a holding cell. That'll work. That'll work just fine. So, we're going to have to run some new power lines over and start running some water pipes down too, because this the toilets are going to need water. Yeah, so it's just not giving me credit because it's not quite done installing everything here. Now these guys have a tendency to get stuck places a lot, which is kind of unfortunate. Somebody's working on this wall, right? At some point, I suppose they will. What's all this stuff? Bench. That stuff didn't even get on a truck, it just shows up. So, once we have this done, all we really need to do is get the kitchen up and running a little bit, and we can start taking some of the prisoners in before we worry about getting actual permanent cell blocks set up. Why is that blocked? I guess it's not? No, it's not. It just thought it was. Well, now that they're doing that, let's go ahead and get our other utility set up, which we need to run big pipes probably through. I'm going to run them through the walls, I think, because that's just how I like to do it. So we got water coming out of this doohickey. Let's go run this down like this, and then we'll have this go off that way, and we will run some small pipes down to these toilets. That's all the toilet really needs is a small pipe. And we can get some lights going in here. And in the on there, and I don't really know. There's not really a way to make that very symmetrical, so we'll just do that anyway. Is that going to interfere with the phone booth if it's there? Yeah, it won't let me place that there, so probably we'll call that good. Now, how much of that? Not all gonna have power, so let's run this down like that. For some reason, I like to run them in the walls just because it makes more sense to me, I guess. And I usually just extend pipes farther than I need to and stuff, just so that it's already sort of going there, you know. Makes sense to me. Alright, Alright, so we're actually reaching our capacity for power already. We gotta get that installed up here. Let's just plop one down there. I'm gonna plop two down actually, even though I have to buy the second one. Because that generator really does not generate that much power to start off with. And this is gonna be a pretty big prison, so I don't know. We might have to experiment with building a second power plant somewhere else at some point. Alright, well the generator just overloaded with another light bulb getting installed, so we gotta wait till they get those capacitors up and running. Now I think I'm just gonna build a pretty darn simple shower and kitchen and everything that we can demolish later and rebuild better. Let's see here. We need the canteen. Let's start with the yard while they're doing that stuff. So I'm just gonna build a basic yard right off the back of this and not really worry about it too much. Let's just get a regular jail cell door. Plop that bad boy down there, and all we really have to do is fence in an area. Let's go 10 meters, and we'll go however wide it is, 10 by 15 meters. That's fine. And it's good to put down a few things out here too, so they have stuff to do. We'll just plop down a couple more benches, I guess. There's not much for them to do outside. Again, the auto save of doom. They can also, let's see, they can have a phone booth out here. Sure, why not? Put like 3 phone booths for them. And I shall also give them, where is it? There's not that many items in the game right now, and yet I still can never find anything. Weight benches. We'll give them like 3 of those. That ought to keep them busy. So what the heck's going on over here? They installed the capacitors? They have. Let's try to switch this back on and see how it's going. So yeah, with those 2 capacitors, we're already doing much better with the power situation down there. Now I'm not really going to waste money on windows or anything yet, because those are kind of like a frivolous thing right now, and I want to kind of keep this prison economical for now. As far as buying this stuff and deleting it, it is a little bit wasteful for the building materials, but the fence is free, so that doesn't matter. This stuff we can dismantle and they'll just add it back to our inventory, so it's not really wasteful at all. I'm sure we'll use more benches and stuff, so I'm not real worried about that. What is he doing? Oh, he's got the weight bench. He's pretty strong. Look at him. Look at him go. Now, as far as this goes, this is going to be divided up. I'm probably going to have to build on too. But I'm going to divide this into a little tiny shower area with not that much, because I kind of like to have that on the cell blocks in a certain setup that I've been working on. You know, with the money we have, we might just build a cell block, because this is going to be, we're going to start off with low security prisoners, which I think I can just build like a room with a lot of beds pretty much, and that'll work. They tell you to start using holding cells at first, but then you can't really sleep, so I don't know. Doesn't seem like a very good way to have a happy prison. And that's what this is all about. Happy prison. So let's plop down a door yonder. We start laying out. Well, actually, we don't need a door like that. This is just going to be a shower. So let's just delete the wall. That will give them a way in. And how big do I want it to be, I wonder? Now, I usually design my shower with like little shower stalls, so we need to leave a space there. Like that. That's not actually going to work that well. Well, this isn't permanent, so I don't really care if it's a little bit wasteful. If you build little stalls, I think it actually helps keep them from stabbing each other, which they always want to do in the shower. So it's fine if there's less showers. We'll just do it that way. And run a wall. And we are going to dedicate this as being a shower. Where's the shower thingy? Shower, 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 shower. I like the little ding noise that it makes when you complete an objective. So let's get utilities taken care of. Oh, we already have water going here, so I think small pipes will probably be good enough for these showers. And of course we do need to install some drainage action so it doesn't just flood everything. Now I usually just put one drain near the exit and that's good enough, so I assume that'll be good enough. I don't really care if it floods too much in here. This is, like I said, a temporary shower just to meet all these objectives. So we've got the yard done. We can go ahead and declare that a yard as well. So we really just have to get the kitchen and the canteen done, which might be a little bit of a challenge to fit in this little room here. But let's see what we can figure out here. First, we just need, I'm going to put in, I always like kind of build my kitchens the same way. Put in like a couple cookers. Let's do, I can't tell which way those fridges are facing. Alright, so that is, I don't know that it even matters particularly, but for whatever reason I like to make sure they face the right way, just because it bugs me. So that looks like a pretty good sized kitchen there, except I think I put the sink in backwards. Like I was just saying, that bothers me for whatever reason. So we'll call that good. Set up a wall along here. You don't want your prisoners getting into the kitchen because they will grab knives and it's no good if they have knives. So yeah, we're gonna have to build on a little bit here to have a little more room for the canteen. So let's get a staff door here, and I suppose a staff door there will work. Get some light action going in here. And that sink's gonna need, I think, a full-size water thing, but I'm not sure. We'll wait till they build it and figure it out. Yeah, I know you can't reach any of that crap yet because there's stuff in the way. There you go. Now you can reach whatever. Look at him just lifting that giant stove like it's nothing. He does not give a crap. I think these ones I know need the big power line, so we'll run a big power line down once they get this set up. Let's go ahead and let them know we're ready to take some low-risk prisoners. That way they'll be showing up before too long here. We can leave them in holding cells for as long as we need to, I guess. I'm pretty sure I put those fridges in backwards. I definitely did. That's gonna bug me. Let's fix that real quick. It's very hard to tell. That looks more correct, I guess. Alright, while they're doing that, let's figure out our water and everything. I think, oh, looks like we can just run the little pipes. Now, this stuff all wants big, so we'll give them big like that, and run that across the hall like that. That'll be fine. They should be able to build all that. While they're working on that, let's figure out how much room we're actually, well, we don't need to pause it. Let's figure out how much room we're actually going to need for this. We already have benches. We need tables take up just a little more room than we have. So we put in like one. Let's do it this way. Just expand like that. And that should knock down, well, I'm not sure it's going to knock down that wall. Let's order them to knock down this wall too, just to be sure. Once that's done, that should just expand into that room. It bugs me when they like leave the two over there that aren't done and stuff. It's like, just like, do it in order, man. What are you guys doing? Alright, we got that powered up. We got water. Everything is good to go over there. Alrighty. What are you guys... Oh, there it goes. Filled in. So, do we have enough room? Table. Yeah, I think I leave... Let's see. 1, 2... Well, I think we're going to be short on bench on that one, but you know what? I don't really care. Oh, I need room for the serving thingy, too. How am I going to handle that? How are we going to handle that? I guess I could... Let's figure out how big this thing is. The serving table is... Where are you? There you are. Holy crap, it's huge. Well, we could just not install that bench or that table and rearrange this stuff a little bit. Of course, they need to have a door in here still, too. Damn it! I didn't really lay this out in any particular way, as you may be able to tell. Let's expand 2 more. And the dreaded autosave lag. There we go. And we'll delete that. So let's install... I don't even need a door for this area, really. They can come and go as they please, so let's knock out the wall right there. Come on, guys. Get to work, please. There they go. Sometimes there's like an inordinate delay. They got this though. So let's while they're doing that, let's designate the kitchen completed. Kitchen is here. So we just have to get this done, and we will be in business for this first little bit at least. Come on, guys. You're not gonna finish knocking down that wall? There you go. Okay, now do we have room for everything I want to put in here? Let's put the serving table right there. That makes sense to me. And then we can go like 1, 2... And that one's just there. Yeah, that'll work just fine. Like I said, this is a temporary canteen. We'll do a better one eventually. Let's go ahead and... Garbage. Canteen. There it is. Call her good to go. So now we just need to hire a couple guards and a couple chefs. So let's do that, actually. They're not going to be doing anything right away, really, but at least the cooks can start cooking. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is end it here. Next time we'll have the prisoners arrive and get started with that. So thanks for watching, guys. It's a pretty fun game. I don't know that I recommend buying it because $30 is a little bit ridiculous, but we'll be back with more later. Thanks for watching.